Okay, so we said in the different knasim, the different amounts. So we say ma'is machat shleishim. Either work, he also pays 30 shekels. In fact, however, a 30 shekel fine is levied in either case. Divided in either case, even though there is reason to differentiate. Gemorah again attempts to prove that the 50 shekel payment does not include compensation, accumulation, and depreciation. Rather, Rabbi Zeir said, if two men forcibly came upon, violated a girl, echad kedak of echad shalei kedak, one in a natural way and one in the unnatural way. That's the prohibition. Yom Baal Shlema Chamishin. So they say that one who cohabited with a girl who is whole pays 50 shekels. All peguma chamishin. And the one who cohabited with the blemished girl also pays 50 shekels. Obviously not. The Gemara again challenges Rabbi Zeir's reasoning. Abaya said to him, Yochi Eved Nami, if so, regard to the 30 shekel fine for a slave killed by a muad ox, you can also ask your question. Shall they say then that if a healthy slave is killed, the ox owner pays 30 shekels? Evan Mukashin Shleishim. And if a slave who is afflicted with boils is killed, the owner also pays 30 shekels. In fact, however, a 30 shekel fine is levied in either case, even though there is a reason to differentiate. Having refuted Rabbi Zeir's two attempts to prove that the 50 shekel payment does not include compensation for humiliation and depreciation, Abaya offers his own proof. Hello, Abaya. Abaya said, the verse states, man who lay with violated her shall give the father of the girl 50 silver shekels, because he had afflicted her. The verse states that these 50 shekels are paid specifically because he had afflicted, violated her. This implies that in addition to this payment or affliction, there is compensation for humiliation and creation. And alternative proof, Rava said, the same verse states, the man who lay with her shall give the father of the girl 50 silver shekels. Hanoah Shiva Chamishim. The verse states that for this pleasure of lying, cohabitation with the girl, the man pays 50 shekels to the father. This implies that in addition to this payment for pleasure, there is compensation for the humiliation and the creation. In other words, then it would be evaluated who you humiliated also. Gemorah discusses the ownership of these additional payments. Namely, but say that the compensation for humiliation and creation are to pay to her. The Gemorah rejects this notion. The verse states, in her state of Naris, in her father's house, from here it is derived that Kol Shvach Nerel Lavia, all profits generated by a girl during her Naris accrue to her father. Hence the profit of recompense, humiliation, and depreciation go to him, and not her. The Gemara challenges the legitimacy of this exegesis. But to consider this dictum, Ravuna said, in the name of Rav, from where do we know that the fruit of a daughter's labor, her earnings belong to her father. For it is stated, when a father shall sell his daughter as a maidservant. The Torah juxtaposes the words, makes a compliment to the words daughter and maidservant to teach the analogy, just as in the case of a maidservant, the fruit of the work of her hands belongs to her master. So too, the case of a daughter, the fruit of the work of her hands belongs to her father. Lamali, now why do I need Rav's exegesis? Typically, derive the law that a daughter's earning belongs to her father from the verse in her nairus, father's house, which perpetually teaches that all profits generated by a naira accrue to the father. Gemorah concludes his challenge. Rather, the fact that Rav needed to cite another verse demonstrates that his law cannot be derived from in her nairis, in her father's house. For it is concerning only the annulment of vows that verse is written. Hence we cannot derive from it that the restitution for the daughter's immolation and appreciation are paid to the father. Gemorah reflects two possible difficulties with this conclusion. And if you will say that we should derive that a father has the right to her monetary rights from the verse, the very law, that he has jurisdiction over his daughter's law, I shall respond, we cannot derive monetary law from prohibition law. And further, if you will say that we should derive that her monetary rights go to the father from the law, that a fine for violation and for seduction go to the father, I shall respond, we cannot derive monetary law from the laws of fines. The Gemorah concedes that there is no biblical verse that awards the payment for humiliation and appreciation to the girl's father. It therefore takes a different direction. Rather, it is logical to say that the compensation for humiliation and depreciation is the father's for he wishes he can deliver her to one who is repulsive or afflicted with boils. The Mishnah is further stated, the deprivation is assessed as fouls. We see her as if she were a slave woman being sold in the marketplace, and we calculate how much she was worth prior to the violation and how much she's worth now after the violation. Gemorah asks, how do we assess her depreciation on this slave market? Gemorah answers, Amar Avu de Shmuel, the father of Shmuel said, we assess how much a person would be willing to give between the purchase of a virgin slave woman, the purchase of a non-virgin slave woman. Shamshay, the servant. The Gemorah wonders, a non-virgin slave woman to serve him, what difference does it make to him? The Gemorah replies, rather we assess the difference in purchase in price between a non-virgin slave woman and a virgin slave woman, for purposes of marrying her to one slave. More again asks, but even if one purchases a slave woman for his slave to marry, what difference does it make? He's a slave to him, whether she's a virgin or a non-virgin. More answers. We're speaking to a slave whose master has satisfaction from him. So he doesn't want to mess him up. He doesn't want him to be messed up with a crazy woman who was violated. In every place, there's the Mishnah, in every place where there is a law of sale, and knas, there is no fine or violate or seduction. And every place where there's a fine, in Mecha, there is